Since this is a popular topic, I'm going to continue to give my 2 cents. Why is Lomachenko even on the pound for pound list? Let's talk.
Push the weight in no flex. Flex the livest one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon. Motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. You know, I love this sport, but I can't stand the politics. I love this sport, but I can't stand the politics. I love this sport, but I can't stand the politics and nonsense. At no point did I say Vasily Lomachenko was trash. I did say that he's not what the public builds him up to be. Is he good? Yes. Is he great? No. The record speaks for itself. Now, I found this picture that someone put together with Devin Haney's comment from his verified account. LOL, Loma not even active right now, which is true. And someone is undisputed in the same weight class, which is true. That he had that he fights in. He's in the same weight class that he fights. Someone's undisputed in the weight class that he fights in. How could he still be pound for pound on the pound for pound list? The man's inactive. The man's inactive. And Devin is saying he is now undisputed. How do they hold Vasily Lomachenko to this high standard? They still do it. See, when you guys come up in our chats and say that we're trying to force a narrative, you really need to check yourself and check what's going on around you. Just because you have some unconditional love affair with a fighter or an unconditional hatred to the fighter that your favorite fighter is being compared to, that's all you need to know. But what you have working in your favor is old media. They help you along with your nonsense. Lomachenko's not active right now. He's fighting a war, allegedly. Regardless, he's over there in the Ukraine, fighting off the Russians. Okay? They asked him, did he want to fight George Cambozo? He said, I declined. I'm fighting for my country. They wanted that fight so bad. George Cambozo, now I want you guys to understand something. This is why this is so enraging. They wanted this guy, Vasily Lomachenko, the speed, the angles, the matrix, to fight Cambozo in Australia. Right? They wanted that fight so bad. What exactly was Lomachenko bringing to the table? You can't say he was going to bring sales. Why? How many pay-per-views he's done? Oh, that's right. He's done fairly great numbers on, fairly good numbers on ESPN. But Devin Haney's pockets is deeper than his. He is his own boss. I don't care what y'all say. And it's been proven that there was a grand scheme to try and keep him out of the loop. How many times I got to play the Teofimo Lopez clip for you guys? Let's look at the history. Very brief, very simple. When Devin Haney was up to fight this guy, Vasily Lomachenko, what did he do? There's no way around it. Don't try and candy coat it. Don't try and mystify any of this process. It's true. He dumped the belt and accepted a franchise status instead of fighting Devin. You see, if he'd have fought Devin and beat him, what, like a year and a half ago now, 2 years ago now, we wouldn't be having this conversation because he'd have beat him. How do we solve the problems in boxing? See who's better than who? They got to get in the ring. There was no excuse, no foreseeable excuse why Devin Haney couldn't get that fight against Lomachenko. There was no excuse for Loma to duck him, but enter another franchise status with the help of the WBC that Teofimo Lopez told the audience, Devin, you just don't know. You will never be a champion at 135. I know it. The WBC knows it. I'm going to go for this title, that title, and then I'm going to fight Lomachenko. Devin, you don't know. I played it for you. Check my receipts. But who would have thought that Lomachenko would lose to Teofimo because Loma decided not to throw a punch until round 6. And then who'd have thought that Teo would get in the ring and lose to Cambozo? Cambozo wasn't even in the plans. And Teofimo again talking about, hey man, if I don't want it, you know what I was gonna do with it. Meaning, if he was really if he'd have beat George Kambosos, that would have been the defense. He'd have dropped the straps and went to 140 and in pursuit of Josh Taylor. That was all part of the plan. Devin Haney was never on the table. He told us that. Wait a minute. When we were saying that's what it was, we had a bunch of haters coming in saying, no, y'all just making it up and y'all always playing the race card. Then when he actually says it, where y'all at now? Lomachenko, same thing. Devin Haney was never on this guy's menu. There was the 2 fighters that ducked him. And George was going to be the third because he went in the route of Vasily Lomachenko first, who has no belts and 2 losses. But somehow that was better for business. He said, no, thank you. I'm in the middle of a war. And George had to fight Devin the Dream Haney. He had to do it. So when Devin says you was forced, yes, because Australia had to step in and pay for that fight. They weren't going to pay him to fight. You had George Kambosos lying, saying, oh, I could afford a maintenance man, a janitor. No, you couldn't have. They weren't going to pay for that. These were your options. So you had to fight him. They weren't going to pay for anything else. You don't sell. And now we see why. You were out. Like 12 niggas slot in the first base. Done. Done. You dropped the ball. Devin did what he had to do. He beat the man who beat the man. He beat the man who beat the man who ducked the man Devin. You see how it comes full circle? The universe don't lie. And the reality is Devin was there to fight everybody, and whoever had the balls, which none of them did, even George, because he tried to duck him, he didn't want this fight. And when he gets on there and Devin points out the truth, you get guys like Paulie Malignaggi. I'm like, hey, what is he talking about? Hey, what are you talking about, guys? What do you mean? He's being fake. What do you mean? What do you mean he had to? Yeah, I just explained it. But you guys ain't stupid. You know what the hell was going on. You acting stupid. Narrative? Yeah. Lomachenko's one big narrative. He's a white fighter from across the pond that they see value in because he doesn't fight like a conventional white fighter. He fights with a bit of soul. But he still has 2 losses. Devin's undefeated. Real WBC championship. George Kambozo stood up there and said, hey, man, you're as fake as a gangster as that belt you had. As the belt you have. Yeah, what? You mean a belt that Vasily dumped rather than to fight me for it? That belt's fake all of a sudden? The WBC strap that you petitioned for? The franchise strap that they just invented, 3 years ago? Right, I get it. But nobody wants to talk about that, right? Nobody wants to talk about that. But in the meantime, you look at ESPN's pound-for-pound rankings, you see Vasily right there at number 7. You look at Ring Magazine, you see Vasily Lomachenko at 7. All right, now I already done been through this, but I'm going to stay on these motherfuckers bumper. All right? Anui already got my attention. All right? That number 2 right there, complete BS. I'll cook on them later in the week again. But you got a drug cheat and 2 heavyweights on your pound-for-pound list. Right over there, right off of that, you're discredited. But why is Vasily Lomachenko number 7? Devin just said this man's inactive. You have an undisputed champion. How is he number 7? How is he still ranked with 2 losses? And his last fight was he won his last fight, but he has 2 losses and he's inactive. Meanwhile, you put him on the pound-for-pound list? I see why Devin said, man, just take me off the damn thing. For what? Got him at number 10. Why is Vasily Lomachenko still higher than Devin Haney? Now let's go to Ring Magazine. I don't even see Devin Haney on this list. I don't even see number 10 on this list, actually. He could be number 10 down there somewhere. I don't see it. I didn't see it. But why is he number 7? Why is he ahead? Now watch this, y'all. You want me to talk about race for a minute? Okay, I won't. Why is Vasily Lomachenko ahead of Josh Taylor, who was undisputed at 140? I mean, he's since had to give up a belt, but that's politics. Why is he ahead of Dimitri Bivol, who's undefeated, who beat Canelo Alvarez? What is this unconditional love affair with Vasily Lomachenko? And when I say there's a grand scheme in reference to a lot of black fighters, don't you dare call me a liar. What it is that you love it. It's convenient for you. I could point out everything great about Devin Haney and you will find the flaw. What you gonna talk about? Round 10 against Linares? Let me disarm you right there. Both of these men fought Linares. Linares only won one round against Devin Haney, and that was because he was getting his marbles back in round 11. But once he got to round 12, it was back to business. Lomachenko stopped Linares, but that not before Linares. When he hit Devin, Devin got wobbled. When Linares hit Loma, Loma fell. Now he came back and stopped him with a body shot. Great work. But I don't hear anybody talking about Lomachenko's chin. They blew the call when he fought Gary Russell Jr. Knocked him down. They blew it. You want to play that game? Let's play the game. Stop acting like he didn't lose Orlando Salido. There's no grand scheme? What's that? He lost his second pro fight. Right there on ESPN, they told us he was 14, no losses, 10 knockouts. And we know that's not the truth. How can that be? Huh? Do I got to remind y'all? These are the type of fans that they are trying to reach out to.
Unified, undefeated. Unified, undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What the hell is even that?
You can't pull the wool over my eyes. I was there. I watched the second pro fight. I watched it, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then when Salido got the nod, I said, oh, man, what happens? You know what happens? Another championship attempt. I'm like, why does this guy keep getting opportunities? You see why I don't have to root for him? You see how I don't make no videos bigging him up? He doesn't need my help. He doesn't need it. He has a complexion for the protection. So I stand by Devin Haney. Vasily Lomachenko should not be number 7 on the pound-for-pound list. As a matter of fact, he shouldn't be on there. He shouldn't be on there at all. Wait till he comes back. Get his feet wet. Now watch this, y'all. When he comes back, because I believe he'll come back. When he comes back, jump right into the smoke. Get in there with a top caliber opponent like Devin Haney. And I don't want to hear, oh, he needs a warm-up. He might be, PTSD from what? No, you're a boxer. You're mentally tough. I don't want to hear it. Because we didn't hear it when Errol flipped his goddamn Ferrari and was thrown from his car. The car's destroyed. He knocked all the teeth out the front of his mouth, came back and fought Danny Garcia. There was no warm-up. So no excuses, right? When this man comes back, get your ass in the ring with Devin Haney and let's see what happens. But the pound-for-pound list, he shouldn't be anywhere on it. Stop it. He shouldn't be on it. Cut it out. Stop. You guys are wrong for that. And that's why we're here. Never fear, we're here. Bronx on deck. Move!